If you are in your 20s right now, or maybe you are reflecting on them like me, this video is an open, unfiltered conversation. I used to carry beliefs around success, money, love, and even ambition that shaped the way I showed up. And honestly, some helped me, and others, or most of them, actually hurt. I'm MJ and I've been running my freelance business since 2020. And if you're new here, welcome. And I hope you'll sit with me at the end of this video. So today I want to share 5 things that I used to believe in my 20s that I no longer agree with now that I'm in my 30s. And I hope this invites you to reflect on the stories that you might have been told and the ones you are ready to rewrite. Belief number 1, success always has a timeline. I used to think that if I was not successful when I reached age of 25, whatever that meant back then, I was behind. I had this invisible checklist in my head. A stable income, a condo maybe, or a job title I can be proud of. But here's what I've learned. Success was never a finish line. It was never a destination. It's not a milestone you reach once and you never question it ever again. To me, it's actually a rhythm, a feeling, a way of being. And how I wish someone told me that earlier. Because by 26, I'd already become a manager, which was one of my dreams back then. And then when I was 27, I then started leading a department. On paper, it was good, it was glamorous, it seemed like I made it. People even said, "You were doing so well, MJ." But inside, I felt disconnected, I felt drained, and I started to question a lot of things. And I kept wondering, is this really it? I actually confused being needed with being fulfilled. And I realized that the version of success that I was chasing, it wasn't actually mine. It was shaped by what I saw at home and what I saw in the workplace, aka my environments, where hard work meant at least 12-hour workdays, where being the last one to leave somehow proved my worth and dedication, where making sure that everyone else had what they needed was the only definition that I was being good at my job. At least that's what I used to think. But none of that left room for me. It took time, but I started to unlearn a lot of things, especially in terms of the word success. Because now I know that real success is not loud. It's when your life actually feels like yours. It's not a performance. It's not a checklist. It's not something curated or designed to impress someone else. And some of my biggest wins, they happened in seasons that did not look shiny on the outside. I did not look dolled up like this when a client complimented my work. I wasn't wearing makeup again like this when a client renewed their agreement with me. And the moments that I felt really proud, they weren't about titles or numbers. They were also quiet, like saying to myself, "That is enough for today, MJ." Like having the choice to walk away from a client who did not align with my values and feeling at peace with that choice. Now for me, success doesn't have a deadline, but peace does. And more, I started choosing peace. Belief number 2, hard work always pays off. Now this one stung because I was raised on a culture of constantly grinding, on the idea that if you just work hard, things will eventually work out. I worked weekends, I pulled all-nighters, I said yes to everything. And sometimes, yes, it did pay off. One great example was when I was working full-time on a graveyard shift in one of the call centers here in the Philippines while I was finishing my college studies. So just imagine, fueled by drive, ambition, and, some coffee on the side. So that was my life for almost like 3 years. And I graduated college while working full-time. But other times, it felt like I was working in the wrong direction. I remember back when I was also juggling multiple roles. I was working with my online job by day, freelancing by night, and over the weekends, saying yes to every request just to prove that I was reliable. There was one month that I even barely slept. Not that I'm proud of or not that I'm glamorizing this, but just hear me out. I hit every deadline, show up to every call, clients were happy, my bosses were impressed, but I was falling apart. I was performing productivity, but I was not living. And the hardest part, I couldn't even tell if I was working toward my dreams or just trying to survive someone else's standards. What I know now is that hard work is only as powerful as your clarity. I had to learn to ask myself, am I working hard for something that I actually want or something I think I should want? There's a difference between momentum and alignment. And not everything that looks like progress is good for you. Belief number 3, if it's meant for you, it will feel easy. This one sounds good, right? I used to believe that the right job, the right partner, the right opportunity would come without resistance. That if something felt hard, it wasn't meant to be. But life doesn't always hand you ease, especially when you are growing. When I first started building this business, nothing felt easy. I was always questioning myself if I'm doing this right, if there's a right way to do this, or if I'm just wasting my time. Those kinds of thoughts. I doubted every decision. I second guessed every post I did. I even questioned whether I was even cut out for this. I kept thinking, if this is right for me, shouldn't it come naturally? But what I learned the hard way is that sometimes what's meant for you also matures you. It does not arrive fully formed or how we expected it to be. It actually invites you to rise, to step up. Ease would have been so comfortable, but discomfort built my capacity. Some of the most meaningful things in my life felt really hard in the beginning, like building my business, setting boundaries, healing old patterns. Ease is not always a sign of alignment, and discomfort isn't always a red flag. Of course, considering other factors and nuances, right? Now I look for expansion, not just ease. I ask myself, does this stretch me in a good way? That's a better question. Belief number 4, you need to be liked to succeed. Now, I used to be a hardcore people pleaser. In my 20s, I thought likability was a way to get ahead. Say yes, stay agreeable, don't ever rock the boat. I remember a time early on in my freelance journey when a client constantly messaging me outside working hours, expecting immediate revisions. I stayed quiet. I did not want to seem difficult. I wanted to be light. I wanted to be easy to work with. Looking back, that version of me was performing politeness at the cost of self-respect. I want you to sit with that. The more I built my freelance business, the more I realized trying to be likable to everyone made me unrecognizable to myself. So now I'm more focused on being respected by my clients, by my team, my audience, and most importantly, by me. Being kind and having boundaries can coexist. And the clients, friendships, and opportunities that are truly aligned, they don't need you to shrink. Belief number 5, you should have it all figured out by now. Now, this belief haunted me the most, and I'm still in the process of really learning this one. I thought that if I didn't have answers at a certain age, I was failing, or I am failing. When I turned 30, I remember spiraling or overthinking for weeks because I thought I should already feel settled. Like I should have mastered my career, built my dream life, and figured out who I am, all neatly tied in a bow. But instead, I was rethinking every single thing. What I wanted, who I wanted to be, what success really meant to me. I had to grieve the version of me that was chasing clarity like a finish line, instead of realizing that clarity actually comes in layers through living, trying, pivoting, and sometimes falling flat. But what I've learned and keep learning is that growth and progress look very different for each one of us. You can be wise and still get lost. You can be successful and still doubt yourself. Life is full of layers, and I realized that figuring out is not a one-time thing. It's a lifetime subscription. Sometimes you circle back. Sometimes you even outgrow things faster than you expected. There's no shame in reinventing, in pausing, or even in starting over. And to learn that what matters most to me is that I'm still here. You are also still here. So choosing, so showing up. And remember that clarity doesn't always come before the leap. Sometimes it's what you find when you stop pretending to have it all together. So that's what I wanted to share today. It might be a bit too much. It might be overwhelming for some, and some might have a lot of light bulb moments. So take it all in. Take your time. If there's a need for you to rewatch this video many times as you can, why not? So I shared this today, not because I wanted to preach, but because I wanted to invite you to reflect. If you can give yourself just a few minutes to pause today and reflect on each belief and start asking yourself some questions. You don't have to change right away. You don't have to change a lot of things in your life overnight. And again, I'm not a life coach. I'm not even a licensed mental health professional. I'm sharing my own experience in hopes that you can learn from this, take what you can and apply whatever it is that will fit to your journey. These were the beliefs that shaped my 20s, and slowly unlearning them gave me the freedom to write a new story. What about you? What's one belief you used to carry that now you are ready to outgrow? Or maybe you've already outgrown it. I'd love to hear it in the comments. I feel a space where reflection is welcomed and growth doesn't have to look perfect. If you enjoy this, please like, subscribe, and share it to the people you care about who are in their 20s or who are also navigating their 30s. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep growing at your own pace. Bye! Explore and learn more about the freelancing world by downloading my free guide called the Freelance Starter Kit. It's available in the description box below. Make sure that your email address is active, and please check both your inbox and spam folders after you're done signing up. You'll also see a link where you can submit your questions about freelancing so I can talk more about those in my upcoming videos. Thank you and see ya!